how Haiti, in many ways, saved America and helped to make America. Let me tell you something that most people never taught anyone in school. There's a country 800 miles off the coast of Florida that changed the entire shape of the United States of America. And most Americans have never, ever heard this story. The country is Haiti. Back in the late 1700s, there was a French colony called Saint Dominique. Today, we call it Haiti, next to the Dominican Republic. And that country, that colony worked by enslaved Africans from Africa, growing sugar and coffee because they were the geniuses of the land, hello, not because they were ignorant or stupid or lazy, but because the folks who went from all around the world to get the genius of the land, the gold of that day, to work this land and bring dead, hot land back to life, humid land back to life, every crop back to life. And they worked this land to grow sugar and coffee. It was the single most profitable piece of territory on planet Earth. Not just for France, on Earth. It generated more wealth for the French colony than all 13 of Britain-American colonies generated for the British Crown combined. This is, pre-American history, formalization of American history. So when the enslaved people of that island rose up and started winning their freedom, Napoleon Bonaparte did not sit back idly. He sent an army, 60,000 troops, one of the largest forces to ever cross the Atlantic, led by his own brother-in-law. That's how deep this was. He's like, yo, bro, go take care of this business. This is important. Their orders were simple. Take the island back, restore slavery, and crush anybody who thought they had a right to be free, and get our gold back, the planting. And they lost. Yellow fever tore through the French army, and the army that Toussaint Louverture built, carried forward by Jean-Jacques Dessalines, met them on the battlefield and beat them. January 1st, 1804, Haiti declared itself the first free Black republic in the history of the world. And before everybody starts messing with my French pronunciation, I'm not French, so there you go. I can say, je m'appelle Jean et vous, je t'aime. That's about it, so relax, get the message. That's what's really important. Now here's the part they don't teach you. Here's the part that changes how you look at the map of America. Napoleon needed that island to feed the entire empire from the Caribbean. When he lost Haiti, Louisiana had no purpose left in the plan. France was drained. France needed cash. They were at war with everybody. And so in 1803, Napoleon sold the entire Louisiana territory to the United States, 828,000 square miles, double the size of this country at that time overnight, or doubling the size of the country overnight. And they originally were just going to sell New Orleans, and then, of course, they needed to sell all of it. I want to be precise here because precision is power. That land didn't become the original 13 states. Those were already here. That's a different story. What it became was the 15 future states, Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, and more. But this gets right to and it gets right to the heart of the matter, and it's harder and more important. Without Haiti's victory, there's a real argument. There is no Louisiana Purchase, no America as we know it on the map today. So how did that work? How did that work? How did the world thank Haiti for this? 1825, French warships showed up off the coast of Haiti, and they said, pay us 150 million gold francs, 10 times what America paid for the entire Louisiana Purchase to France. Or we invade you again. That money wasn't for roads, it wasn't for schools, it was reparations. Slaves having to buy back their freedom. I keep telling you, enslaved people were the wealthiest asset in the world in this era because we were genius human capital who could turn dead land back into life and create gold of that day, which is cotton and tobacco, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I spent my life studying wealth. As you know, I've got 7 books on the topic. Most recent books, The Memo, Up From Nothing, Financial Literacy for All. I believe financial literacy is a civil rights issue of this generation. You Know Better, You Do Better, and Capitalism for All, the current bestseller. You should get your copy. So I've spent a lifetime doing this and explaining how it's built, how it's protected, and how it gets stolen. Sometimes with a gun, and sometimes with a signature on a treaty nobody outside the country ever read or could read, because it was illegal in many cases to teach a slave to read. So financial literacy is that new civil rights issue of this generation, and Haiti is Exhibit A for why. This was not a poor country that stayed poor because its people didn't understand money alone. That no one gave them a business plan or financial literacy. This was a nation that understood freedom well enough to beat one of the great armies of its time in the world, and then had that freedom monetized against them for over a century. You cannot separate where Haiti stood or stands today from that ledger. So I talk all the time about being an economic plumber, right? And going in and fixing the pipes so opportunity can actually flow to people instead of leaking out before it ever reaches them. Haiti's pipes weren't neglected. They were clogged on purpose, right? By treaty, by gunboat, for a century and a quarter. We cannot build more bridges and fewer toll bridges. So to me, it's just so common sense. I'm sorry, I've got to stop myself sometime and take a breath. You cannot build more bridges and fewer toll bridges in this world if we won't be honest about where some of those toll booths came from in the first place. And I'd rather just not have toll bridges at all. I'd rather just have the bridges. I'd rather not have walls. I'd rather that we understand that we're all in this thing together. That's a whole nother point for a whole nother time. So I'm not telling you this to reignite and relitigate 1825 people. I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you to be angry, because that's a useless emotion, right? If you want to make a wrong decision, make an emotional one. I'm telling you because we die for lack of knowledge. It's what we don't know that we don't know that's killing us, but we think we know. Haiti gave the world proof that free people would rather fight than stay enslaved. America got a continent out of that bargain. Haiti got a bill and no business plan on how to run a country. It's time for us to now know the difference. And by the way, if you want to meet some amazing people, meet some Haitians. In Turks and Caicos, where we have a place, I mean, the most industrious, the smartest, most wicked smart people you ever meet are Haitians. So, and they're all around the world making a difference. Anyway, just not in their own country, which is a shame. And maybe we can fix that. Here's the book. I'd love to send, by the way, if somebody in the Haitian government, the legitimate Haitian government, sends me a note to my office to Bill Fair, I'll send 200 free copies of this book at my expense to the government. They distribute it to the libraries and the government leaders, and I'm happy to do a video call. Anyway, I'm just trying to help, but first we got to do is help ourselves. So get the book, get your knowledge, follow my podcast, go to Operation Hope, and change your life. Let's go.